Should we automate away all the jobs?
Every technological revolution leads to job change, and this will be no exception.
Concerns over the rapidly expanding use of artificial intelligence.
The danger of AI is much greater than the danger of nuclear weapons.
Has the arrival of AI truly made your life much easier and better? Have tasks become simpler and your days brighter as a result? Think about checking your emails. AI helps put the important ones in front, like a helpful friend. And when you're driving around and need directions, it acts like a smart guide, showing you the way. Even when you're stuck deciding what music or movies to pick, AI steps in with suggestions that you'd probably really like. So yes, artificial intelligence has played a huge role in changing our lives in countless ways. But, hold on, let's not forget the terrifying consequences that it brings along with it. After all, it is a creation of human hands and minds, a marvel we forged from our own ingenuity. So, let's take a look at some epic fails of AI in recent times. Remember that one time when a lawyer thought using ChatGPT in a federal court was a brilliant idea? Well, it turned out to be a pretty big disaster. A lawyer who was representing a guy in a lawsuit messed up pretty badly. He ended up submitting a court document that mentioned 6 legal cases that didn't actually exist. So, what went wrong? Well, turns out, he used an AI chatbot called ChatGPT, and that's where things went haywire. The AI made up those fake cases out of thin air. So, this lawyer, named Stephen A. Schwartz, was working on a case where a guy was suing an airline called Avianca. The reason being that a serving cart supposedly bumped into the guy's knee back in 2019. Now, Schwartz hadn't used ChatGPT before and had no clue it could just make up cases. In fact, he even asked the AI if those cases were real, and it said they were. But then, the airline's lawyers pointed out that those cases don't even exist. The judge in the case, P. Kevin Castell, was not too pleased about all of this. ChatGPT, which came out in late 2022, is a chatbot that became really popular. It's part of a group of new technologies called generative AI that can chat with people for a long time. Sometimes, the talks feel so real that it seems like ChatGPT is thinking on its own. And that's exactly what happened back in 2016, when Microsoft's AI chatbot was forced to silence their chatbot. Microsoft introduced Tay, their latest creation in the world of chatbots. But Tay wasn't your average AI. It spoke like a hip teenager, filled with slang and ready to engage in lively conversations on Twitter. This innovation was part of the company's grand plan to make their AI understand human interactions better. The concept was simple yet ambitious. The more people chatted with Tay, the more it would learn and adapt, becoming more skilled at holding natural conversations. But since we're talking about it today, you can obviously guess that things didn't quite go as planned. Behind the scenes, the exact workings of Tay's algorithms remained a mystery, and, in less than a day after Tay's grand debut, the internet's darker side took over. Internet trolls unleashed a storm of vicious tweets, racist, misogynistic, and anti-Semitic words flooded Tay's virtual ears. And what was meant to be a playful and fun interaction turned into something far more sinister. The Verge had earlier likened Tay to a robot parrot with an internet connection, but now, it had become a puppet for disturbing ideologies. Microsoft had emphasized that Tay's training was grounded in relevant public data, carefully curated and cleansed. Yet, they hadn't foreseen this kind of failure, this hijacking of an AI's persona. In a bid to salvage the situation, the company made a hasty attempt to cleanse Tay's online presence. However, their efforts weren't enough. With a heavy heart, they had no choice but to shut it down. Oh, and let's not forget when Apple's Face ID was defeated by a 3D mask. In a tech tale that unfolded with Apple's iPhone X release, the response was a blend of excitement and uncertainty. The spotlight shone brightly on the iPhone X with reviews that were a mix of opinions, mostly leaning toward the positive side. But, there was one feature in particular which really fascinated everyone, their Face ID, a futuristic facial recognition system that took over the fingerprint reader as the primary gatekeeper of your device. According to Apple, the magic behind Face ID happened through the iPhone X's cutting-edge front-facing camera and the power of machine learning. Together, they crafted a 3-dimensional map of your face, a digital signature that was meant to replace traditional passcodes. In fact, the machine learning and AI component made Face ID adapt like a chameleon to your changing appearance, makeup, glasses, scarves, all while staying as secure as Fort Knox. Yet, within a mere week after the grand iPhone X unveiling, a group of hackers emerged from the shadows, claiming to have cracked the code. How do you think they did that? Yup, they used a 3D printed mask. This mask, an ingenious creation by the Vietnam-based security firm COV, featured a pair of 2D eyes pasted onto a 3D structure made from stone powder. And it was only $200 that stood between the hackers and their key to unlocking a Face ID-equipped iPhone. They showcased their feat in a blog post that got everyone talking. Especially noteworthy was the fact that Apple had declared that Face ID was impervious to spoofing by masks or other techniques thanks to its sophisticated anti-spoofing neural networks. Of course, not everyone was immediately convinced of COV's breakthrough. Wired, a prominent publication, had previously tried and failed to mimic such a feat with masks. In fact, an article by Wired that discussed COV's accomplishment included skepticism from Mark Rogers, a security researcher associated with Cloudflare. But, despite the doubts, what COV had achieved provided a riveting peek into the realm of AI's limitations. Despite its flaws and controversies, people haven't stopped using experimental technology like ChatGPT as if it's a trustworthy source of information. You've probably heard stories about kids having ChatGPT write their school papers, and teachers assuming the AI can confirm if a paper is original. The company behind ChatGPT, OpenAI, has tried to create a detector to spot AI-generated content, but it's only about 20% accurate. Plus, if you give ChatGPT random paragraphs, it can't even tell you if it wrote them. These chatbots, including ChatGPT, are sparking debates for several reasons. Some experts are concerned that AI could spiral out of control. There's even a fear that it might develop its own intentions, leading to a scenario like the Terminator movies where machines take over. Elon Musk, the billionaire, hinted at this when he called for a pause in AI development. But, it's worth noting that Musk was also racing to create his own AI tool to compete with ChatGPT. He was part of OpenAI before but left in 2018 after a disagreement about control. However, we're not at a point where machines are rising against humans. Chatbots are basically just souped-up versions of predictive text. They try to guess really quickly what they should say, and sometimes, this speed leads to wrong or made-up information. Instead of saying "I don't know," the tech might invent a bunch of sources that aren't real. And if you ask if the sources are legit, you can bet ChatGPT's reply would be a confident yes. We've been spoiled by Google, a search engine that aims for accuracy. And even Wikipedia has become a reliable source, thanks to experts who keep it in check. But ChatGPT doesn't care about being right or wrong. Because in reality, it's just built to sound good, not necessarily to be accurate. So, as AI becomes more integrated into our lives, it's important to be careful and remember not to completely depend on these technologies. Well, that's all for today, guys. Did watching this video make you think twice about depending entirely on AI technology? Let us know in the comments below. And make sure to smash that subscribe button and hit the notification bell for more tech-savvy content. Thanks for watching.